everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be showing you how to set up a temporary bearded dragon enclosure. And you might be asking, why do I need to set up a temporary bearded dragon enclosure? Can't I just put it in the enclosure? If it is your only reptile, then yes, you can. However, if you have 2 or more bearded dragons or snakes or whatever, then you need to quarantine your new one for a period of 30 days or 90 days, just so that you can observe it, make sure it's healthy, make sure it's healthy, and that there's no chance of parasites or bacteria passed on to your other reptile. So that's what I have here. So I'm going to show you my setup for Mango, who's my newest bearded dragon, and then I'll show you how to go about setting one up or cleaning it. So if you come down here, I have this box from Bunnings Warehouse. This box is actually really cheap. I've also got some light fixtures. This light was about $10. That's also from Bunnings. And I also got this UV. Now, bearded dragons need both a basking and a UV. Just because the UV, if they're inside, this acts as the sunlight, whereas the basking is just for the heat. So you're going to see I've got my little Mango down here. He's quite small. So you guys have seen my other lizard in my other video, Fred. Mango is my newest buddy. He is a little baby, and it's quite smaller. This is a temporary enclosure until his new one arrives this afternoon. So I'm going to show you how I set it up. I'm just going to take everything out and then I'll show you what you need. So we're going to take him out. So the first thing you'll need is obviously your box and your heat lamp, but then we can do all the decorations in it. So one of the things you need is a nice flat piece of wood like this. This can act as a seating or a hide. Mango likes to use it more as a hide. So you can just put it on top of the 2 rocks and they can use that as basking. Rocks, they can be used for supporting hides or even for climbing. They're also good to have some hard surfaces, because the hard surfaces help them wear down their nails, and their nails can get quite sharp over time. So having rocks as a hard surface is a really good way to ensure they get nice and clean. You want to have your food dish in here. Obviously you want to take it out every time you clean it or every time you put some new food in. In here, he's got at the moment some basil, some coriander, and some mealworms. So they're just in there. We can take this out. Over here we have this box that the light actually came in, which I'm using as a little light, a little bed for him. You also see that this leg is just here. Don't worry about that. That's just the piano stool light to hang this off, because this didn't have a little clip like this light does. Then you need some newspaper as a substrate. If you can do, newspaper is the best for this because it's the easiest to clean, because as a temporary substrate. It also doesn't take as long to clean as if you had like a rock or sand substrate or leaf litters. Also need a water bowl. This one's now empty because it has evaporated. But that's basically everything you need in the box. But I'm just going to now show you how I set it up. I'm not going to take all this stuff out, but I'm going to put all the other stuff in so you can see how best to do it, how best to set it up. So you want to start by attaching your light. As you can see, this light here, I just sit it. Now the best way to do it is if you angle it down. So I'm going to clip it onto here. So that is now angled down. This one as well is just hanging off the wall, as you can see there. You want to make sure that your basking is nice and hot, so you want to have it between 35 and 37. Any hotter than that, and the animals will, if it is too hot, that's fine, and we'll move over to their cold side. But if they're too cold, you want them to stay on the hot side, and if it's too cold, then they can get really sick, so you want to make sure they stay nice and warm. So you want to make sure that your enclosure is actually nice and clean. This one's a bit dirty because he's already been using it and there's bits of food everywhere. That's okay. I have newspaper over here as well, just so that it can go under his hide even though he doesn't really need it under his hide, but he just has it there anyway. His new enclosure, which I'll show you also in another video later, so I'll do a little. His other enclosure, which is coming later, I'll do like another like proper enclosure tour, which is being made by a company, is being delivered later this afternoon. So I will show you that when it arrives, but just for now, just showing you where he's living currently. Yeah, so that is the box, and you'll see Mangas down here. He's a much different coloration to Fred, whereas Fred is like that pale sand colour. Mango's actually orange. And this is awesome. I actually got him from the Penrith Reptile Expo. And it was just complete fate. It was just a complete coincidence that they had orange bearded dragons there. But the really funny thing is though that the vendor that I bought him off at the Penrith Reptile Expo, she is a breeder on Facebook called KMS Dragons, and I'd actually been talking to her over the past maybe 4 or 5 months about buying one of her orange bearded dragons. And it was just complete random, because I wasn't expecting to find one at the expo, so I was saying, okay, I'll have this lady's back in case I can't find anything. And it was just a complete coincidence that the vendor I bought this little guy off was her, who I'd been speaking to her for like 4 months. It was completely random. But yeah, as you can see, Mango's a nice orange. He does have white on his head, but it's just shedding, and he's shedding his tail as well. So now I'm going to put all this stuff back in and show you how I have set this one up. So I'm going to start with the hide on this side. So I'm going to put the rocks back in. So I'm going to put this smoother rock onto the edge over here. And then I'm going to put this more harder rock, whoopsies, don't drop it in the process, over onto the other corner, just so you get a nice wide depth. Then you're going to put your newspaper in the centre. Might just move them over a little bit. Put your newspaper in the centre, just so he has a nice verge of depth. Then we're going to grab our plank of wood. Remember, you want to put the fatter side onto the corner. You want to make sure it's really nice and stable, so if he goes to sit on it, it's not going to tip and knock him off. And it also has access like to hide like underneath, so he can go under there if he wishes to, or you can go on here. Most nights you'd expect them to sleep in their little bed, which I'll show you soon. But he tends to sleep in the little corners over here, so I do sometimes have to move him over there. Or if he's sleeping under this log, that's fine, I'll just leave him there. So the next thing I'm going to put in is this. This is just the box that this light came in, and I've just shredded some newspaper into it. So I'm going to place this in the corner over here. And to make sure that the lids are open, that the side doors are open so he can climb in. Squish it up, but still have enough space that he can like climb under it, hide inside it. He can squeeze through there. So that is good. You want to make sure that, you know, there's enough room that he can move around. Then you want to put your water bowl in. I'm going to fill this one up after I put it back in, but we'll just put it in the corner for now. That is quite a small water bowl, but he doesn't really drink much. He drinks a lot more in the water and the bath, which is fine. Then we're going to go ahead and put our food bowl back in. I just generally put it over here, just so he can sit in this area and then eat it from there. As he's a baby at the moment, he eats mainly the little mealworms down here. So he eats about 70% meat and then 30% vegetables. And as they get older, that will gradually change. So he'll go from 70% meat and vegetables to 70% vegetables and 30% meat. My other dragon is a bit fussy. And also when it's young, when they're young, it's also good to let them eat by themselves. My other dragon, Fred, I actually had to start tongue feeding him. I had to start hand feeding him because he stopped eating at a young age. So I've started so I've had to hand feed him. And it's just so time consuming, and you don't ever want to do that. So I'm going to make sure Mango eats all by himself. from basically the first day, which he has been doing, because I don't want to hand feed another baby because it's very time consuming. So I'm going to put him down here, and I'll let you see. He's very active, so oh, there he goes. He's on his rock, and he'll just chill there now. I've also got just some newspaper over there for if he needs, to change the newspaper, which he doesn't at the moment. But that is that. I've also got over here hand sanitizer because, as I said, he's a new dragon. Every time I've touched him, or after I've touched him, or after I've touched my other dragon or picked them up, I put this on because I don't want Fred giving anything to Mango or Mango giving anything to Fred. And he's just currently living in my sister's room. So sorry, Jenna. And it's also important if you have a new dragon that you have a sign up so people know that there is something in here, so you don't forget about the animal. I also put in here quarantine zone, wash hands after handling me, because again that's just about the passing on the germs to Fred. And when his tank does arrive this afternoon, I'll show it to you in more detail. But we're just check out Fred's tank. This is Fred's tank. It's a little bit different. So this one is a bit smaller. This one's bigger for him, but it's actually small for an adult dragon because they need a 4-foot enclosure versus 3 foot. As you can just see here, Fred's a bit bigger than Mango. This is his favourite log of all time. He loves to chill on this log. Like, this log is his absolute favourite. He will also sit up here on this plank, and he actually takes up the whole plank. Like, if his head is here, there's at the end of this plank, his tail will be here. So, sorry. So yeah, it does take up that whole plank. He's also got a basking light, which is at 37, 35. You then have the UV, which is just under. Also got the UV, which is here. This acts as the sunlight. It's not really hot, that's alright. He also has a water bowl. Oops, so turn you around. He also has a water bowl, which is empty because it evaporates from the heat. This hammock, he doesn't really use the hammock, but you know, it's good to have it there if he likes to chill. I might switch that over. It kind of looks good here. Then, because I thought his enclosure looks quite bland, I've just added in this fake plant. Now, his substrate is actually a rock mat, so it's like a sand mat. And I've actually cut it up into little smaller pieces, so as you can see, there's like little gaps in it because I've broken it up. And that's actually really handy because it means if he's pooed, all I have to do is remove the section of the mat that he's pooed on, and then I can clean it. I've also got some rocks in here. He does like to climb along the top here as well. He does like to climb along the top here. He also loves to look out through this little mesh hole here. There's a little hole there he likes to look out through. You can just see his face there. Hello! He likes to climb through that. I think there was supposed to be something that covered that, but I'll find out later. Coming down here, I've also just got his food. Their food, so I've got some pellets, some mealworms, some dried crickets, and some grubs. Water bowl, which I fill the bottles up with. Also got this really hilarious where the dragon sign. Transport crate, they need to go to the vet. Steamer to steam their rocks. And just supplements and some spare lights. Well guys, thank you for sticking around for that video. I have been trying to post shorter videos. I may sometimes successful, sometimes I'm not. If you like that video, then please like, and if you like that video, then please like and put a comment and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys soon with another video.